Hello everyone and welcome to the pitskill.io Porsche Cup sponsored by SimQuips. And tonight we are in a very wet France at the Circuit Paul Ricard. I'm your host Roy Bonner and I am joined in the commentary box by pitskill.io's very own head steward Casper. Welcome sir.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to join in.
It is a pleasure to have you here, and actually Discord is picking you up. I can see some bars, so good. We're not having you in silence. This is always the fear whenever I have someone on as a guest. So yeah, good to have you here, and start of a new season.
But it's going to be really exciting to see if Reese can. What do you call it? Battle for the reigning champion can win it again.
He's got the car number 101, which is based on his pit skill, but also shows his status as the champion of last season. He is the one that everyone is going to be gunning after. And well, we had a few contenders, and not least was Johan Leff, who he's currently sitting in P6, but Reese slots himself into P3 with that lap. We have a new joiner currently sitting in provisional pole position, Jeremy Leffiel. And you see a few new names in here for this opening round of season 19, so could be a contender amongst them for Reese's crown. We'll have to wait and see. And well, I think the admin of this event not holding back with a wet race to start us off. Not the
definitely wet and dark, so not ideal conditions to drive around in the cup cars.
Yeah, not an easy start for anyone who thought, oh, you know what, I'll wait till the new season to try out these Porsche Cup cars on pit skill. Because, yeah, really a trial by fire. But plenty of drivers tonight. The 36 in the session, so this is going to be an action-packed race, I do hope. As a runner-up last season, Johan Leff, currently sitting P6 in a 2:04.7. Quite close times up at the top of this timing sheet with Jones, Leffilet on a 4.2 and Jones on a 2.27, 0.3 for Tattersall. And would only take a small improvement for any of those to take pole position as Johan Leff crossing the line and going fastest. That is
so we have Leffilet going
even faster,
9/10 quicker or so.
That is a absolutely extreme time. I think the drivers just getting used to these conditions as the session goes on. We're seeing numbers of drivers with decent improvements to their times, but that lap from Leffilet is yeah, really throwing in a gauntlet there. A full 0.8 of a second faster than Leff, and well, he is no slouch in these Porsche Cup cars. Improving down the long back straight here is Sam McCarthy. Do you remember a couple of seasons ago when we had Paul Ricard on the calendar last? Oof! Oh, and that was a little bit of a poor rejoin there. Well, it looked like Sam was running wide, but yeah, perhaps the rejoining the car, not quite expecting to have a car so far out there. And Tadeusz Szynski in Rexy. Always a nice car to see out on track. And Andy Hudson in the chat pointing out the terrible weather conditions and really beating me to the terrible puns tonight with it's looking a Les Miserables out there. Very, very good. So there's bringing Rexy round to finish the final sector and we head onto that long and boring back straight. Check back in with Reece Tattersall, who's finding some pace out there. He is up on the previous best, has got over a second they need to find if they want to be threatening to take pole position. Doesn't look like it's going to be such good improvement, but up to P2, Reece Tattersall going to dig deep in these final few minutes of the session, try and unseat a Lefele from the top spot. And it seems like improvements coming from just about everyone out there. I suspect even with the rain still coming down, with 36 cars lapping this circuit continuously, track will be maybe not drying out, but at least keeping some of the water off and giving a good conditioned racing line.
Yeah, definitely the track surface will maybe not grip up, but it will be better as they go on, even if it's raining a lot. As we see both Lefele and Reece Tattersall finding time. We also have Jones finding time as he enters the third sector of the lap.
We've got quite a few new to pit skill, quite fast drivers tonight. We've got Arnaud Rocadru in P3. As you say, Chase Jones down in P8, looking like they're improving on their time.
We have Johan Leff, who was contending a lot last season, down in P5, P6 now.
As Jones moves himself up into P3, has Tattersall got what it takes to take position? I don't think he does with this lap at least. Going to improve in time, but not position.
Yeah, he's finding time.
But, well, bad news for Tattersall is Lefele also finding time. Could we see Lefele getting into the 202s before this session comes to an end? We jump around and look at some of our new drivers. As you can tell the new drivers by their red rookie badge. There's Nathan Smith-Adams in the bright pink car. That should be an easy one to spot out on track. And Loic and Shu in the pink Rexy. I was going to say you don't see many pink dinosaurs, but then one, you don't see many dinosaurs, and two, you don't see many many dinosaurs looking like racing cars. So I mean, it's all really academic at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Space Jones went wide after the long straight and has returned to the pits.
Has checked back in with Lefele, who's coming to cross the line to finish that. 203.090 will be their best time as Reece Tattersall looks to challenge it. Just one corner of few corners to go. I'm sort of losing track of where he is on the circuit. He's in the final sector now. And
he keeps the momentum up.
I think just losing a little bit of momentum there. Needs to find 0.4 of a second. I think he's going to be close as he comes to cross the line. And Rhys Tattersall, not one to be outdone, takes pole position on his final lap.
Maybe Johan Leffe? No, doesn't look like. Unless he finds a lot of time in the last corner, but it doesn't look like it.
But maybe able to move himself up into contention for this race as he moves up into P3. A lot more what we're used to from Leffe. As Van der Kraan, the driver we did see a few times last season, sporting another green Rexy livery, which could get confusing, is on to improve on his lap time in the dying moments of the session.
0.005 of a second. But Rhys manages to snag pole by.
Those are some tight margins. And, well, we've seen who has got the 1 lap pace, and remains to be seen if they can keep that up for the entire race distance. As we have got 30 minutes race here at Paul Ricard. As our drivers line up on the grid, you can see how packed this grid is. Cars as far as the eye can see, and they will be led by Rhys Tattersall. We go through starting order. It is Rhys Tattersall on pole position, followed by Leffe, followed by Johan Leff in P3 and Rodri P4. And on the third row we have Jones and Sawyer, by Kroos and Szynski, Nilsson and Fahir, Weidbeck and Schricker, Smith, Addott, McCarthy, Tranmer, Parry, Busso, Lorenzon, Wright and Sal, Van Dijk, Chittle, Eltzer, Skorpa, Van der Kraan, Wegner, Shallcross, Michalak, Nitro, Eats, Martin, Gossens, Katchelmeyer, Janssen Van Rensburg, I want to say. I can't actually see the end of that name, unfortunately. Rosencroft and Jansman.
You managed to get all in for once.
Yeah, I didn't go through and do a pit walk. I felt that would have been absolute madness with how stacked this grid is tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see who... So we've got our championship sponsor, Chris Wright, quite far down the grid tonight, P19, as our leaders pull away from the front of the grid. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. There is a good number of rookies in amongst this. Drivers that we've not seen before, don't necessarily know their pace, don't know their racecraft, and yeah, I think it's going to be a learning experience, especially coming down to turn 1 for a lot of these drivers. They've done these conditions flat out, but they've not been approaching turn 1 at a lower speed with fuel on board the car. Everyone's going to need to be very, very careful as they come into brake for turn 1.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, I would be surprised if we don't see some cars spinning out.
Yeah, especially these Porsche Cup cars. Again, to remind everyone who's maybe not aware, do not have traction control. So the only thing maintaining the grip of the rear wheels is the right foot of the driver. And yeah, with perhaps slightly cooler tyres on the race start and a bunch of fuel in the car, I see some drivers maybe getting a little over eager and pitching the car around at turn 1. Got a long formation lap here, so maybe take an opportunity to just see if we've got any nice custom liveries from any drivers. We've seen a few Rexies out there, and then
I mean, Rita's livery is.
Oh yeah, of course we've got the Heinz baked beans livery. Reese Tattersall. Actually, Reese running this livery quite a few times last season, but it never showed up on stream for some reason. But I think our esteemed admin, Terry, has got that problem fixed, and we're now able to see this livery in all its glory. Let's look back down the order. I believe... Oh, Balazs running the Baloo Rexy. Has moved away from his various Quips liveries over the past few seasons. And we've got Smith Adams in that livery we saw earlier. Is that Harry in what looks like quite a nice Martini-inspired livery, with the red and the pale blue stripes. Luke Tranmere in his usual black and yellow Bumblebee livery. Van Dijk in a very shiny, it looks like some sort of SimQuips style livery. Not seen that one before.
Maybe a little bit too turquoise to be a SimQuips.
Yeah, it's not quite the right colour. We can see you've got Chris Wright in the SimQuips, and behind him is Peltzer in the BinQuips livery. Or is that SpinQuips? God knows, too many of them now.
I think that was the BinQuips.
As we return our attention back to the front of the field, we come down the start-finish straight. Reese Tattersall gets ready to lead this field away. There's the green flag waves, and we are racing at Paul Ricard. Looks like Reese has got a good start heading down towards the first corner on the inside, though looks like the fillet with the nose ahead is going to try and maintain the speed around the outside, and Leffelay up into P1. Opportunity seized there by Leffelay, and looks like Rogerie looking up the inside of Johan Leff. Not quite finding a way through there, but already drivers are looking to make up positions, as we see John Sawyer looking up the inside of Jones behind. And not seeing too many yellow flags out there. Looks like the entire train is following its way through this first sector.
Actually well behaved.
Very
Position switches I can see. As there is a yellow flag heading out onto the back straight.
I think we just saw that a pink car stranded off on the runoff. But Reese Tattersall getting into that slipstream. But Leffelay defending the inside as they both twitching rear ends through the fast right-hander at the end of that long straight, and in these conditions doing well to keep control of the car. And it's amazing looking down the timing tower that you cannot see. You can now. Barely a second between any cars in this grid. It is insane the racing we're seeing out there, as we've got the yellow flags out for Kenny Crows. It looks like he's just taken a short excursion into the runoff. Oh, I think that was contact there from Tadeusz Szymczyk as Crow struggles to regain control of his car. As Crow's trying to now get his way back past Sam McCarthy. The front five breaking away from the cars behind ever so slightly. As Luke Tranmere also picks his way forward. We've got Chris Wright and Matthew Parry going side by side as Chris Wright, I think there may have been a slight little touch there. Chris Wright needs to be careful he doesn't pick up a penalty for that. Chris Wright just cut the entirety of that section of the track and not pick up so much as a penalty. That's interesting. I'd hope he at least got a track cut for that one.
Yeah, I think he would get the track cut for that.
Well,
Looked like there was a little touch between the two, and he just continued straight on.
Yeah, he has also jumped ahead of Weidbeck there.
Yeah, that could be overtaking outside the track limit.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and see if I can catch that again. I cannot. I didn't go back far enough. Yeah, he was definitely behind Weidbeck because he was battling with Parry. So the reason why I bring this up and the reason I sound so surprised is we had a similar situation out in Spa a couple of seasons ago.
Weidbeck was behind them. I've just checked the replay.
Oh, he was? Okay, that's good to know.
It's just Weidbeck that has managed to get past Parry, so it looks like it.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I was just mentioning because back in Spa a couple of seasons ago, we did have an issue where track limits in the wet and the Porsche Cups were not being applied, and people could just straight line Eau Rouge.
Yeah, I remember that. It would be interesting to hear with Chris after the race if he got a track cut for that. Or he might, it looked like he slowed down a lot, so he might have managed to get it slowed down enough to get away without a track cut.
Oh, and we've got Van Dijk in the chat saying that his engine went, which is not ideal. As it looks like Leffelet driving away from Reese Tattersall, 1.8 seconds the gap. And this is the closest battle we have towards the front as Rodri chasing down Johan left down the long back straight. The last time we were here at Paul Ricard was much more clement conditions, but we did see a lot of changes for position between pairs of cars just because of how strong the slipstream is down that back straight. It'd almost be you drive behind each other for an entire lap, then you overtake on the back straight, and then you drive behind each other again, and then you swap. As it looks like Reese Tattersall maybe struggling a little bit out there as Johan left closing down that gap. Now got it down to 0.3 seconds. I'm not sure if perhaps was there an incident out there for Tattersall? We're just potentially struggling with these conditions.
Let's go and investigate to see what happened with Reese.
This is the battle over P2 right now. There's Rodri continuing to apply pressure to left. And these are our top 4 drivers in this race. Behind them, you just see Jones and Sawyer emerging. And behind Sawyer, there is a real scrum emerging. As you can see, Szynski and Nielsen side by side coming down the back straight. And towards the braking zone, looks like Nielsen with the overspeed. But it's Szynski who's taking the slipstream from Fay here. Will Nielsen be enough ahead heading into the braking zone to swing in front? Yes, he is. So Nielsen takes that position off of Szynski, who we saw getting a little bit wayward coming out of the first sector. So that's Nielsen up into P8 now. And behind them, we've got Schricker leading McCarthy and Crows. Everyone being quite cautious as we've got a change in position for P3. So what's happened to Johan Leff? Oh, just a touch of oversteer, and that hands the position over to Rodri. Moves up into P3.
Yeah, really treacherous conditions and at this point, especially with no traction control. So it's really easy to just get that little slight oversteer and you are trying to save the car off the track.
As we come around first sector again, heading on to that long back straight. Nielsen looking to line up another pass perhaps, or maybe just running a little wide there. May not get the opportunity to do what he did to Szynski last time around. As the battle behind these is even closer as Kenny Crows all over the back of Sam McCarthy, right in that slipstream, pulls out to the outside. He's side by side as they come down towards the braking zone. As Kenny Crows going out wide, does come back on inside of the track limits markers, so keeps that position. And it's another change of position for P3. I think that was Rodri running wide, Johan Leff taking the inside line and makes the move back up into P3 and regains that bottom step on the podium for now, with 20 minutes still to run in this race.
It's been a crazy first 10 minutes with 20 still to go.
There's Sam McCarthy looking for a way to get past Roland Schricker. Door to door heading into turn 1. McCarthy will have the inside line for turn 1. That will then get over to Schricker, but McCarthy covers it off well, keeps the nose ahead, takes the position from Schricker, and Crows manages to follow him through. So Schricker losing 2 positions there. As you can see, the pair of cars travelling behind Balazs here, up ahead as well. There's Crows now trying to get back past Sam McCarthy. Holds that long inside line as they come down onto the back straight. I think Kenny Crows just cutting that track limits marker there. Needs to be careful he doesn't do that too many times, as there's, whoa, a big swapper there for Sam McCarthy.
What happened there?
Let's check that one from the helicam. Not quite sure what sent the car wayward there. Not sure if there was contact. No, it looked like just getting out onto that blue painted surface, span up the rear tyres. And wow, surprising to see such a big snap at those sorts of speeds, you would have thought the downforce would have kept the car under control. But
and it was just in a straight line, and the back, looked like he might have hit a puddle or something.
yeah, potentially just a little bit of aquaplaning there. But I think we also saw Luke Trammer, who's now returned to the pits. He got caught up in that one. And yeah, Roland Stricker not coming out of that one in good condition. There's the bonnet of that car is eating a lot of air as he drives down. And well, I think that's just going to make him a sitting duck on the back straight now. He's going to have no top speed whatsoever.
I re-looked at in the replay, and it looks like aquaplaning from Sam.
Oof, just getting a bit too much over that blue section of the track, which isn't driven on usually, so it's going to collect those puddles. And yeah, as soon as your car starts floating, that's it. You don't have any control whatsoever. But we did miss another change of position for P3 as Rodri is back up onto that bottom step of the podium. And hand left, continuing to chase. He's just behind this bit. Nielsen, closest he's been now to Balazs. Pulls out of the slipstream, again going to the outside. Hasn't quite got the overlap he needs as they head through the corner. Looked like there could have been contact between the two of them there, but they've managed to hold it together. And well, that was as close as you'd want to get, I think. In these conditions, you really don't want to be tapping someone through a corner. There's, yeah. The rear looks unstable at the best of times, it must be said. There's Kaczynski behind. Closing in on this battle, these two fighting hard, slowing each other down. And that is allowing Kaczynski to just slowly close up that gap. They come round to start another racing lap. Behind them, Chris Wright. Getting a move made on Matthew Parry. And up into P13. Let's see how that move was made by Chris Wright. Oh, just taking the better line to get the exit from the corner. And yep, just making that move down the straight. Good racing there from Chris Wright. Into P13. And with a grid start of 19th place in this race, Chris Wright up 6 positions, the most of anyone in the top 20. And that's some impressive racing. He's now 3.5 seconds back from Robert Weibeck. Might be a little bit of a tall order to ask him to close up that gap in the next 14 minutes, but showing some good race pace.
It's the Porsche Cups in the wets. Anything could happen. So it's 3.5 seconds now, but it might be nothing in a couple of laps.
Now, these two here, and Nielsen still duking it out through the final sector, and these two been almost inseparable. And well, I think we may have commentators cursed Chris Wright there.
I just saw it as well. Definitely commentator's curse coming through.
Oh,
just getting wide and then back and just stepping out and getting collected.
Yeah, not sure there was much that Parry could have done to avoid that one. And Chris Wright now finds himself down into P16. That hard work being undone in an instant.
Sorry, Chris.
Sorry, Chris.
We didn't do anything. see
turn.
Jens Nilsson and Balash Feher still going at it.
Yeah, these two, again, I don't want to jinx it, don't want to commentator's curse it, but I'm going to say it anyway. These two have been keeping it clean in these conditions. That's very impressive. I'm not seeing many mistakes from these two. A little bit of an overstep here or there, but kept their cars pointing in the right direction and have been racing in close proximity lap after lap. Nelson opting to move out of the slipstream very early there. Robert Vibeck makes his way past Smith Adams.
Utilizing the slipstream fully.
But Smith Adams not giving this one up easily, keeping on the inside. That is bold racing there from our rookie driver. Holds on to P11.
Feeling the inside line there, forcing Vibeck to go the long way around. Yeah, we're seeing some fighting spirit from our newcomers this race as Lefele continues to lead this race ahead of Reece Tattersall, who has brought that gap down to less than a second now. So Reece Tattersall not willing to give this one up, as we've just had Sam McCarthy drop down 3 positions. Oh, that'd be why he's dropped down 3 positions. His car's off the track facing the wrong way. I tell you, that's not the way to drive fast. Yeah, that's definitely not the place you want to be. As we see Tadeusz Cieszynski joining in on the battle between Nilsson and Feher.
It's coming a 3-way fight over P7 in this race. Nelson staying in the slipstream this time. Trying to follow all the way down towards the corner. Is he going to try and take the inside? I think he's too far back even with that slipstream. Yeah, it's not catching, not getting enough of an overspeed as they emerge onto the third sector. And Balash Feher soaking up that pressure well. Just under 10 minutes remaining of this race. And Nilsson just sticking to the rear of that car ahead of him. Really solid work from this pair and Tadeusz as well. Keep this battle going. And also continuing battling are Smith Adams and Vidbeck. Battling over E11. Vidbeck looks to the inside. Little optimistic there, given how far back he was, but doesn't commit to it. Backs out. Plays it safe. Still plenty of time remaining in this race. There's a little bit of love to some of the cars lower down in the field, and Roland Schrucker evidently suffering with the damage to the front of that car.
The bonnet doesn't look like it's it looks like it has seen better days.
Indeed. Not dropping too far back from Charcross though, but I will be interested to see what happens when we get onto that long back straight with Schricker. But Nielsen and Fahey still battling hard. Oh, Nielsen having to drag the car back onto the racing surface there. Can't quite carry the speed.
As McCarthy manages to get himself a drive-through for track limits.
Oh dear. So, well, I think that is proof, if we needed it, that track limits do work on this track with these cars in these conditions. Let's check in with Roland Schricker, and okay, he is able to follow other cars down this back straight. I was worried he was just going to be eaten alive as soon as he emerged onto the straight. Although, to be fair, the front of the car of Michalak isn't... Sorry, not Michalak, it's Shawcross isn't looking much better. And to be fair, he did just get absolutely destroyed by Michalak down that straight, as did Shawcross.
Yeah.
So I think both of them running very high drag setup due to the fact that their bonnet doesn't close.
The bonnet flap. As we see... Oh, okay, it was just a yellow for Sam entering the pits. I thought he had spun again.
As finding himself under more and more pressure. Nielsen and Szynski closing right up to the back of him. Sam McCarthy has served his drive-through penalty and re-emerged onto the circuit in P20.
Yeah, looks like Cricker is dropping.
Schicker's dropping like an absolute stone.
3-4 seconds a lap with this damage.
And how much of that is in the second sector? Actually... Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the best. Apologies. Yeah, a lot of that is in the second sector. Where that long straight, that huge amount of drag, as Nielsen gets his car alongside a hit, but not able to capitalise on it, not able to compromise Fahey's line enough to make a move. He tries to get the better exit, and this could be an opportunity for Nielsen right in behind Fahey. He's looking to the outside as they head down towards turn one. He's going to have to be brave if he wants to try and throw this one around the outside. Oh, and that is well done by Nielsen. I'm not sure, did he keep that on the track? But we'll see that one from another angle as Fahey moves across to intimidate, but Nielsen not backing down from that one and carrying the speed through as Fahey gets a little bit out of shape. And Jens Nielsen up into P7. And Kenny Kroes has now joined the battle, making this a four-way fight for P7.
Yeah, that move has been a long time in the making. As I've been battling for well over 10 minutes at this point, I think. Lap after lap.
And now it looks like he is under pressure from Szynski. Szynski looks to the inside. Will have to be a bold move to try and go up the inside at that corner. Szynski holding that inside line and manages to take P8 off of Fahey. Fahey, who's looking well out of control, is struggling with those rears. Can't imagine he's taken too much life out of those tyres in these conditions. Those wet tyres will go and go and go in these conditions, so perhaps just getting a little bit fatigued himself. Has been hard racing for almost the entirety of this 30-minute race. There's Chris Wright. Has made his way forward up into P14. Going up the inside of Matthias Peltzer. A decent recovery after his earlier spin.
Battle of the Rexes.
Yep. It's the green dinosaur versus the blue dinosaur. As we head around onto that long back straight again.
Nilsson has managed to build himself a 2-second gap down to Cieszynski.
Yeah, so showing that he had pace in hand, but just couldn't exploit it while tucked up behind Fahir.
I think Fahir and Cieszynski battling have also helped a little bit.
Yeah, that's undoubtedly the case. These two have been battling quite hard as Fahir moves to the outside. He's going to try and throw it around the outside and carry the speed. Nope. Tucks in behind. He always able to take the inside line. Wow, both of them looking slightly sideways through the corner. Centimeters apart as they go through there. And doing well to give each other room. And it is Balazs Fahir who comes out of that one on top up into P8. Retakes the position from Tadeusz Cieszynski. As our leader has started the final lap of this race. As these three continue to battle. Matthias Peltzer has made his way back past Chris Wright as they continue to battle again. I think Peltzer just getting out of shape again, and that has allowed Chris Wright back through into P14. And these two have got one lap left to resolve that battle. As Merritt has got Busso for company as they head around the final corners into their final lap.
As we see Kroos actually managing to get the DT for track limits.
Oh, yes, I did see yellow flags. Oh, and he tries to stop the car and then just drives back onto the track full throttle. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Also a little bit silly. He brought the car to a complete stop and then just absolutely floors it back onto the circuit. As Cieszynski looking around the outside again. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Nope. Fahir keeping ahead. As we check back in with our race leader, Jeremy Lefele, coming around the final corner. And coming to take the checkered flag and the win here at Paul Ricard. Will be followed by Rhys Tattersall in P2 and Arnaud Rogerie in P3 before it goes to Johan Leff, followed by Chase Jones, John Sawyer takes P6, and
3 new names in the top 5.
yeah, with Nielsen with a well-deserved P7 after that race-long battle. Balazs Fahir manages to hold on to P8, holding off Tadeusz Cieszynski, who has to settle.
Oh no,
P9.
Kenny Kroos hitting to serve his DT.
That will not serve it, I don't think.
That will not serve it. He should have just continued on, because now he will lose time by going into the pits and then get the 30 seconds for the DT.
That is unfortunate.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Videbet, P11. Rose emerges from the pit lane Still with a 30-second penalty. He'll be looking at that and kicking himself as Matthew Parry takes P13. Peltzer, P14. That's right, P15. Patrick van der Kraan in P16. With Busso, P17. Mitchell, P18. Sam McCarthy, P19. And finally, rounding out our top 20, although I think ACC is getting a little confused with people leaving, is Wagner. Lorenzon in 21. Nitro in, sporting actually a new livery for this race, which I missed out on, in P22. We have Michalak, Schricker, Goosens, and finally for the lead lap, I believe, is the Eitz. And, well, that was a action-packed opening round of the pitskill.io Porsche Cup. And, yeah, let's hope we can keep that sort of intensity up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see.
And good that we've got so many new drivers joining us for these races. It's always nice to see the popularity of these Porsche Cup races. Something a little bit different to the usual GT3 racing in ACC, and I am all here for it. Well, thank you very much for joining me tonight for the commentary, Casper.
Thank you too.
Another big congratulations to our top 3 drivers. That was... Why did I say that and I forget who it is? It is Lefferly, it is Reese Hassel in P2, and I don't think it was Johan Leff, was it? It was... Why did I start on that one? I couldn't remember who it was. Chase Jones, I believe.
No.
Nope.
Or no?
No, Arnaud Rogerie, of course. Then Johan Leff and Chase Jones. That teaches me for starting out on something that I could not commit to. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, Casper. I have been your host, Roy Waller, and next week, the Porsche Cup heads to Spa-Francorchamps, where hopefully the track limits have been fixed. And don't go anywhere, because we are going to be back very shortly with the replay, or sorry, the highlights from tonight's race. Good night.
What's going on in there?